because of something he did.
Just to record. But damn. Well.
No, but
I mean, were there any other people that were getting cut though? Damn.
That's the only one I've heard of that got cut
Yeah, it's the
for
only one that
basically
got
breaking
cut.
the rules. And that was actually a few weeks ago.
How strict are the actual parameters of like as far as them like
So-
leaving and
oh,
coming?
so-
that's
so
what I
like, are
wanted to
people
talk
watching?
about. That's what I wanted
I'm
to
not
talk
exactly
about.
sure.
So before they even started training camps and all this, I don't know if you guys saw, but a whole bunch of NFL players started tweeting at the NFL, at Roger Goodell and all that, for not taking COVID seriously.
Well, they also
They were going to start training camp without any COVID policies, any bubble, nothing.
Well, they also
and they
upped
all-
the opt-out deadline too, which was a little.
And that was the only thing that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing.
No, I mean no. That was bad. Like I'm like in the sense that they basically like upped the deadline for the players to opt
Oh,
out.
it made it
They made
sooner.
it They made it sooner. They basically like so
Ooh.
they were like half the Patriots opted out.
Yeah,
like
I know at least 10 players on the roster.
Yeah, like half the defensive line Chung and. Like,
Oh yeah, the Patriots.
like,
They're
yeah.
decimated.
And literally,
For
like
sure.
a week after I saw like kind of the snowball of the Patriots, like I see kind of the report that says like they moved the opt-out deadline. I think it was like August 6th or 7th or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, or it's like they moved it up, where they gave them until like a certain amount of time, and then
They moved
randomly
it up.
they were like, whoa,
Our
That's
brand.
too long.
right? Like
Our brand.
yeah.
Enough people have
Like,
left.
it was like
Alright.
EA Games when Battlefront 2 and everyone started pulling the subscriptions when they heard it was like pay to win and shit. They shut the website down real quick. There's a problem.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, dude, the NFL is doing this. They're just like, they're probably thinking like, all right, who's gonna take this? Like, who's actually gonna opt out? Because if you think about the young players, the people who are actually like fighting for a spot on the team.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw Devin Funches opt out of this year.
I was surprised.
What
by
team
that.
does
it
he
hurt
play
It
for?
hurts the Packers a lot too, because the Packers just signed him.
The Packers just signed
Yeah,
him?
as like an actual secondary receiver, which went a bit decent because Devontae Adams has been running by himself for fucking 3 years.
No way they were gonna
Yes,
sign
he
him
has.
as a
Jordan-
second option.
At least he's gonna be. At least he's an NFL receiver
Dude,
on the field. Who the hell else has been out there? Like, what you talking about? Like Allison and freaking Valdez
Allison
Scantling.
they're both better.
All right.
Both better than Funches.
I had both of them on my fantasy team last year. They are both coin flips at best. All right,
I
like
know.
Valdez Scantling, like you can give him a little bit of time and stuff, but like Allison's a slot receiver.
So that's one of the things that I read up on. So it was like, the NFL did not follow suit with the NBA, NHL, or even MLB on any of his COVID related stuff until the players and everybody complained. And to this point, they haven't even done to their bubbles yet. They've had them restricted to hotels, but each stadium still wants to have fans available. I don't know if you know, but the Baltimore Ravens are gonna have 22% capacity.
I was actually amazed. You see the report? They said they were gonna try to have 22% in the opening game.
Oh yeah,
Thursday night.
I was gonna talk about
But
the
then
opening game. They're trying to have 22%.
All right,
And then
so this,
I was
all right,
like,
so this
I
brings
get
up a
it.
good
Like,
point,
So then I had
if people want to go, let them go. But like at the same time, like you could have waited till like a few weeks in. I don't think anybody would have like.
you guys mentioned the
You don't
Patriots.
seem like you're trying to be all that.
They went out. Gillette Stadium went out, and they were like, "We're gonna have no fans. No, we're not following the NFL. We're gonna have no fans. If you want to, you're gonna have electronic fans only at Gillette Stadium."
I mean,
You
all right,
know,
so that brings up
Oh,
a
again,
whole other thing.
You
dude.
also
Fans,
mentioned eight or nine of their defensive players are all gone.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they know they're not going to get a lot of people to come in anyway.
And your
Alright.
backup quarterback just got hurt. So you guys are like stuck.
Yeah,
with Cam
pretty
Newton.
much. Cam Newton's going to be the
It's
starter.
just Cam now. All right.
Yeah.
So you want to bring up the fans in the stadiums, basically, right?
Correct.
Now. All right. So I think there were some teams that are doing 20%.
No,
Was there
the 22 is the...
22% is
The
what
league.
I saw that the opening. So the
That's
Thursday
the max?
No, Thursday.
Yeah, it's the max.
The only thing I can speak on is the one report I saw, and I said that they were going to try to allow 22% on the opening Thursday night game. That's the opening game of the season, like September 10th, I think.
Dude, they want their bottom dollar.
All right, I don't think they need it. Like we've had this conversation before.
Oh yeah,
like,
I don't even know if the gate is like that.
That's you get 8 home games as an owner.
No, they do, because there's going to be a lot of sponsors with like on the stadium. They want to ticket sell.
That's for
So,
TV
but the NFL
also.
makes all of their money.
But
through
the people who are
deals.
paying for the stadium, like Gillette Stadium, like for the name and all that, they also probably rely on the ticket
They're gonna
selling,
say that on
and
every
then
broadcast.
like the food selling and the beer,
So,
and
like,
then the
so
T-shirts
I get
and
that,
jerseys.
But
and
why
all that.
then isn't baseball the ones that are like trying to like force in people? because baseball doesn't make nearly the TV revenue that NFL does. All right, they have way more games, so their owners basically take a way higher percentage of that in-game revenue.
Listen, I think there's a lot less games.
But they cut it down to 60.
Wait, hold on. But like they also want to build enthusiasm. 60. Like we're thinking about only the monetary value of like what they're gonna make off the ticket. But like you especially for football, you got 16 games. You need people invested, and you need the enthusiasm really high going into playoffs so that they keep paying attention. Like even the fans that like maybe their teams don't make it and shit like that. Like you want the enthusiasm really high, and like maybe they're worried about the energy level that's gonna go down when there's no fans like going crazy. Like think about like Seattle. Like everyone was a Seattle fan because of the 12th man. And like how how crazy loud the stadium gets.
But
like
that became a Seattle fan was just a Patriots.
So do
fan.
people?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying the whole 12.
So even with the fans in the stadium, do you think like because with soccer Champions League we saw that they were pumping noise into the stadium?
And they're doing that with basketball too.
They fined the Falcons for that like 3 years ago.
They're gonna have to do that on top of the 20%.
Right?
What is 20% gonna sound like, dude? 20% of people. That's gonna sound like a high school game.
I'd rather hear people hitting pads.
Correct.
Like honestly, I don't care about fan noise.
I think we're gonna get that anyways.
Instead,
I would rather hear pad to pad. I want to hear a quarterback get sacked.
And they got these new cameras that they put out. I don't know if you saw that, but they fucking got new cameras out for NBA, NFL, hockey, all of them. New camera angles to give to the fans.
Science camera things where they're like going to tell me like, oh,
they're giving us new
600
angles.
feet at 97% efficiency.
No, not sports science stuff, but just new camera angles.
Yeah.
That's what we can watch. They're gonna give us the pat on pat action, the hits.
I'll fuck with that.
Dude, I would pay extra to hear all that and to block out the commentators' noises.
And to mic the players.
And to make the players, I would pay.
I don't know about any of that.
Dude, I don't mind the commentators, like in the sense that there's some of them, like there's some.
There's just that one that
I would pay $200 for the season if I could hear the Panthers and also hear the sounds of like mic'd up, like you said, dude. I would pay $200 a season for that.
You've been watching some NBA games, right? You've seen the mic'd up players.
Yeah.
So imagine that with NFL. You can't have that.
How do they mic an NBA?
I've been mad that baseball doesn't do that.
Right, would they be taught? They'd be spitting tobacco.
But that's the one thing. Listen. We're gonna talk. Oh, you can come at me like that. All right.
Oh, shots fired.
I'm not gonna get into this now. We on camera. All right. But like kind of to your point, you're right. Baseball players have a lot of freaking time on their hands. Baseball players basically say stupid shit. They get into some stupid conversations, and they basically are like, there's a lot of random shit going on in the dugout. Is all I'm saying. You're missing an opportunity to mic up some of these guys and just make money off of personality.
You think they're actually talking about the game or like?
No, they're not talking about the game.
So like,
no,
what are they talking about? They go up to bat and they hit the ball.
Like literally, they're not talking about the game. They are talking about random things.
It's not their job to talk about the game.
Like that have imagine what is going on in the freaking bullpen. Like 3 of the guys are watching somebody learn how to jump.
They're all like on their phone.
All the 3 coaches are the ones that manage the whole game.
Everybody in the bullpen already knows how to jump.
They just make the play, and that's all they have to think about. Like,
as soon as you're getting ready to go up, the coach feels you don't know what you need to do. And then when you're on the field or whatever, they tell you if you need to run the base or not or whatever.
Man, baseball sucks.
You have a coach at all times.
Right,
you don't have to worry about talking about the game.
So we were just like, I think there was like a report about the NBA bubble. Like some dude was saying like, oh, it's all basketball all day, every day, and we need a break. We need to get out. So
I think fans love that.
What dumb motherfucker said that?
I think fans love that.
Somebody was saying that we need to escape and see our family, friends, and all that shit.
So I don't know if you know, but the NBA allows one family member or significant other.
Okay,
listen.
That is approved and tested from COVID.
Like, it does kind of.
I wanted to move that to another point. Though.
Like, it does
what do you guys think NFL players are gonna be? Because dude, imagine after a win on Sunday, the next day that day's off.
That's hard.
I mean, you saw a report of the one lady who sucked off 7 Suns players.
Oh man, I heard about that.
The one woman in the hotel room sucked off 7 NBA players.
Listen,
back to back.
No, she was there to fuck one of like the team personnel management.
Somebody she knew,
shit.
yeah.
And then all the players just barged in and she sucked off 7 of them. Just they took turns and she just started sucking them all.
Damn.
She gave interviews about it. She doesn't even care. She's like, yeah, I sucked them all.
What the?
Yeah.
The Suns
So
players.
that's just Suns, right? That's just one team. Not what 12 players, 14
Was this
players
recent?
on the Suns.
yeah, this is like last. Like,
Was she like seeing? She was like, I want to see if these guys
We
are,
can even
are
pull it
paying,
up right now.
are paying
Nah, it
close
was
to
so
their
easy to
COVID
find.
like
Yeah,
restrictions.
You want to pull
Alright,
that
she's
up?
like,
Yeah.
I'll get them.
Yeah,
Pull
pull
it
up
up
the
on
interviews.
YouTube.
Pull up the
I don't want
interviews.
to see this.
no, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
This is like
And her-
history in the making.
And like it wasn't even that she outright said it. Her friend said it for her.
Yeah, she's like, don't be shy, and she's like, yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
it was
just
not.
sucked out 7 players.
We'll just let it play.
Oh yeah. So now let's just imagine. I was saying like 14 players are for the Suns.
I'm kind
Right?
of glad I don't frequent these news sites.
Sun-
Imagine this was all over. Dude.
Jesus, man, how?
Dude,
Sucked
I have to,
off.
like, Google
that
this
Google
shit.
search. I was gonna put you on a list.
I know.
Yep, there's the interview.
Disowned by parents and fired. That's the article you clicked on?
Yo.
That's the article you clicked on.
I didn't even mean to.
Selena Powell.
It's a real-
Put this up on
Selena
the stream.
Powell, that's who it is.
Put this up on the stream.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
How do you
Alright.
get... Wait.
Did I say she's
Yo, that's-
Mormon?
For the record, though, my parents have disowned me like 4 times.
Dude,
They still let me live in
No
the
way!
house.
Her parents are Mormon!
Oh,
Ah!
she's
Ah!
shunned. She's shunned for life.
No!
Oh, no way.
She did not. She
Her
did not.
parents did not appreciate the source of her newfound fame.
She's a real one.
Oh, man.
Yo, play that clip. Play
Oh,
that
yeah.
clip. Yeah, so that's her friend over there.
On my birthday, I see them all at Dre's, like this one team.
Okay.
She's so shy, it's so cute, baby. And I don't know, I was getting boxed in a hotel room. They all pulled up, and I sucked it.
The whole team.
7.
7.
This is the same interview where they were talking about
I was fucked up. I didn't fuck any of them.
Tory Lanez pissing on.
No. After this, like
This is the same interview.
the friend leaves. The friend leaves for that.
Wait
for that section.
a minute.
What?
And talks about her shooting, Tory Lane shooting. What's her name? Morgan.
Is there like... Has anybody asked the Sun players?
This is fucking.
Let's be real, man.
I'm just saying, has anybody asked the Suns
Come on,
players?
Let's be real.
What am I being real about?
I believe her. Believe all women, man.
We're getting fucked by somebody else right before this?
Has anybody asked the Suns
Are you
players?
listening to the story?
I'm listening to this story, but at this point,
Wait.
In the hotel room, so I was fucking like someone that works with the team.
someone that works like...
Team, because I hooked up with them before. But they all pulled up. No, not the whole team. Like, a few of them, they all just pulled up. They knew I was in there, and they were like, let's get lit. And they were just sitting on the bed, and they just rotated.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yo, they all
That's tight.
So do you look back at this as a positive memory?
Yeah, I don't care. It was lit.
Hell yeah. I respect
Watch the next question he
I
has.
don't care. It's lit.
Watch the next question he has.
You immediately told us about sucking 7 dicks in a row.
Oh, I did cut
Oh,
off.
cut off. He asked like, did you spit or swallow or something like
Yeah,
that?
he's like, where'd all the cum go?
And she's like, my stomach's used to it. I swallowed all of it. Yeah.
This is an NFL podcast. Alright, whatever.
So yeah,
Alright, yeah.
going back to our topic.
Back on topic.
So, and the Suns players wanted to, procreate in some sort of manner,
what?
right?
No, obviously not.
They wanted to jack off. They wanted to, something to happen. They wanted to have fun, and that's understandable because that's their lifestyle. They do that
I
shit.
mean, if
They can
everyone's
get any
cool with
bitch they
it,
want.
everyone's cool with it. Like,
Right? That's just
Turn this on real quick.
the Suns.
Yeah, dude,
Imagine
that was
that.
like,
That's much
Imagine that.
better.
It's the
Hey,
Suns.
Living
That's,
in the light.
that's 7 players of a 14-player team, right?
she
Now
went hard
imagine
to tank,
that.
This
man.
was like a week ago?
Imagine that. Imagine
Okay, so
that,
like, I guess like, ignoring
what's
the
the word
fact...
on the ratio to when it comes to NFL players? Were there 50% players on a team?
Wait. Say that
Ignoring
again.
the fact that, like, this
So,
whole
so the
thing...
ratio I was trying to use, so 7 some players on a 14-man roster, or usually 12-man roster, compared to what now you're saying the whole
Oh, with
but
the
like, what
NFL.
if we- like,
He's,
what if-
he's talking about with the NFL. Like now they're gonna like.
how hard it will be for them to control it. If the Suns got away with it,
It shouldn't be that hard for a grown man to just like chill out and play his sport, man. Honestly,
not when
I
you're-
give these people no
Not when
excuses.
you're playing a contact sport like that. Though.
So, like, listen...
come
Getting
on,
painkillers, getting all those.
I was gonna say,
all
like, are
those
we talking
drugs.
about this in the context of, like, how are you gonna keep these 22-year-old dudes, like, basically, like, all...
just
like,
all of them, all these professional athletes who, as you know, we've seen it all over social media,
I guess
all
like
over the years. They fuck bitches and they get money.
Yeah.
That's their lifestyle.
Ignoring
They play
whether
the
or not
best
I
sport.
like I guess I
their
believe
favorite
everything
sport.
about that story. Like I do think that like things like that do happen. All right, in some like respect. All right, like I kind of agree with Brady in the sense that like if you gotta like what you gotta hold off for like one season. Like if they actually like institute some sort of like
no way.
Listen, it shouldn't
No
be
way.
so hard for them to just like beat
If
their
you-
meat and focus on the sport. Like it, I get the
Wait,
choice.
How long
I
have
don't.
players been in the bubble?
Listen,
Like,
listen. I'm not saying I care about their choices. I'm just saying like if it develops as an issue for the team, it should be no problem for these fucking like star athletes that are getting paid millions of dollars to just chill the fuck out and not risk COVID.
or not go to a bar every night or something like
But
that.
you gotta
It
put it in
doesn't
their
seem like-
perspective. You gotta put it in their
Alright,
perspective.
imagine-
A lot of these guys, play NFL to get money and female.
Yeah, but at the same time,
That's their only like goals in
But-
life.
but
If
their
I
only
want to make
job in
money,
life is to play.
and
a
I
But
wanna
at
give
the same
bitches.
time, you can't
Like-
tell me that every single one of these fucking players hasn't been on like road trips and things and like tournaments with just their teammates for long periods of time.
Dude, exactly.
All right, whereas like
yeah,
when
but
they-
that's why they have all this social
Right.
media and they have all
Like-
these people that I'm gonna be in this hotel at this time, slide through.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I understand their choices. I'm just saying, if it was a problem, like as far as you getting to play your sport, like it's like it shows about you if you can't just
It's
like, hold it
immature.
together.
It's
Yeah,
correct.
It's
like,
not-
Yeah, you're getting
like,
millions of dollars.
Not like listen, like the NHL and stuff has it a little bit easier. They only have to do that for what, like a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, they're already second round of
Alright,
playoffs.
like same thing with the NBA. All right, like it's pretty easy for them in the sense like to tell them, hey, like go on a 2-month vacation to Orlando, go be in the bubble. All right,
that's
like
what I'm saying.
it's
Yeah.
But
but
even
but
then,
the
the
NFL
NBA's
is
can't
but
do
the
it.
NFL is 16 weeks.
Okay, the NFL
Alright,
is
and then
different.
you have what, like 8 more weeks of playoffs after that. Like in the sense that if you are the team
Yeah.
that's going to be in the
That's
Super Bowl,
fair,
like you're
man.
gone for half the fucking
Dude, imagine
year.
the bye weeks.
Alright, like-
imagine what are you gonna do
Like
the bye week?
you're gone for half the year, and but I do
See, but
think
there
I do
is
think
no
that there's
bubble.
I do think that
That's
there's a bit of like wiggle room in the sense that like at least in like the NBA, like they're playing like every other day. All right, like football, you gotta be tested and ready for one game a week.
So
All right, like you have to be clear for one game a week.
So Chetty, let me ask
So,
you
like-
this. Let me ask you this. If you're gonna allow some wiggle room, does the NFL also have to like employ testing for like maybe the potential prostitutes that they want to bring to the hotel? Like, do they take those kind of precautions or like, you know?
And that's what the NBA is doing. So they're
The
allowed one
NFL
visitor.
Like, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily like the NFL needs. The NFL is going to institute guidelines. If the players decide to don't abide by those guidelines, I'm assuming that player's not going to play that week. He might put half his team at risk, which
Yeah.
may mean
Yeah.
that whole game might not get played.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright,
That's what
like-
I'm saying. That's
right.
like that's.
But
you know, it seems like. You
but
should be able
like
to
that
keep it
happened
together.
once or twice in baseball. All right, like and in the sense that like I do think that like it's a little bit harder with baseball, just like the nature of the sport. Everyone's sitting in a dugout. All right, like at least if they're not gonna have things on the sidelines. Supposedly in football, you should be able to spread 50 people down a sideline. It shouldn't be all that difficult, all right, for them to be in.
There's a lot of people that are involved when
But
it comes into
assuming
the
that
NFL
everyone
team.
on the field is tested and and pretty much like clean on the
Alright, well, that's
spot
the
of like
thing.
game day.
The Jets
All right,
falsely
like-
make 12
Ooh.
people that were falsely positive, and they what are they gonna do with that if that happens in a week where they actually need players? Like,
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and
I
plus,
think that's rough. I
think
think
about
that-
all the staff for NFL. You have like all of the team, which is just
That
tons
was
of players.
That was gonna be my
You have
next
all of
question.
the coordinators, like offense, defense. You have all of the personal trainers. You have the staff like that helps them
and they
get all
all
their
have
gear and shit ready.
families.
Yeah, like that's that's gonna be a
Well,
lot.
So not even that, just to make the game happen itself. Look at how many people are on the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
that
I'm
are
saying.
that are not a part of a team. That are just part of to get the game going and on broadcasted. So are they going to do what the NBA did? 'Cause the NBA allowed essential personnel only. So a lot of those trainers, a lot of those are not allowed. They have only the exact medical staff and like 2 or 3 of the main coaches. That's it. Everybody else is gone. They can't come to the games. They can't do any of that. And if they want to be there, they have to, abide by the rules.
Or they can do the virtual.
Listen,
stuff,
I don't think
guess.
it's I don't think it's gonna be easy, but like at the same time, like I care about I'm a victim of what I see in the sense that even with the Marlins, like you had 19 Marlins test positive, and 2 weeks later, all 19 of them are back on the field. All right,
Wait, two nights?
or 2 weeks later, 19 of them are back on the field.
Yeah.
They're all basically they get their
So
their
imagine
negative tests, and then
all right. So imagine how that affects NFL fantasy football, and then imagine how that affects bets.
So from a fantasy football standpoint and from a betting standpoint, I think that it creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is always good. All right. But
I mean, it's
like,
good, but
in the sense that
how are you gonna imagine if like let's say like the
that's
Falcons-
purely from a betting standpoint. Like, that's not. I'm not talking about like how like the game actually like plays out, but like if you don't know what's gonna happen, like if it's hard to tell what's gonna happen, like
the more reckless people
Right.
there are, the more chances you have of being opportunistic.
yeah, like basically like it just creates opportunity, I guess, in the sense that like if you're paying attention, kind of like from a fantasy football perspective, like if 6 players went out and there's reports that they like went out and they're probably gonna get like held out of like the game or something. All right, like that is the guy in your league who just sets his roster on Friday and doesn't check on Sunday morning. All right, has 3 of those players
That was
that
me
are now
several weeks.
that are now 0. All right, like you know, so like
I mean, I honestly think like if you're doing like a fantasy football league for a year and you're doing like the full league, I honestly think you're gonna have to be like
on the ball.
yeah,
But
on a moment's notice.
But I also felt like you always had
And
to
then
be like that.
imagine
That was my
If you
thing.
weren't like that,
You
if
had
you
to
weren't
be
like
like
that, you
that
were
the
losing.
whole time anyway.
If you weren't like that, you were losing.
dude, that affects roster spots. Because imagine if you have to do that like 10 times a week, like you lose all your starters. All your starters are gone for like a 2-week period, let's say, and then
Like people
you,
are gonna
you
get,
don't even have any roster spots to pick up their backups anymore.
like,
So-
if we're
so
talking
that's-
about just from a fantasy football standpoint, like you're gonna go through like injuries like all year. Like I
Oh,
was in
dude,
the
there's gonna be so much trading.
Yeah, we don't trade because everyone overvalues the shit out of their players.
Yeah.
Looking at you.
No,
All right.
you too.
Yeah, but if people are getting sick, like you're gonna have to trade. You're gonna have to not be bitches.
And me.
Every
But, like,
trade is just under. Every trade I get is just undervalued.
That's because you watch.
It's because ABAT sends you 70 trades a day, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, ABAT.
Shout out to ABAT one time.
ABAT and Conlon like gave me the shittiest trades every
Yeah.
single week.
Yeah,
Every single
Conlon was another one too.
Conlon throws them out there just like, hey.
I don't think it's gonna
And,
affect trades.
I'm gonna be
though.
honest, I don't think John ever checked his.
Yeah, John didn't check it.
All right, well let's try to leave our fantasy league out of it.
All right. Sorry,
It hurt some feelings.
Sorry, John.
But like, imagine like these people are gonna have to have extra roster spots for COVID. Like,
We've already
I don't even.
that in my mind isn't a big thing. Like I'm the commissioner of our league, and like we already have talked about it.
Bish.
What's up? All right, like
but it's just like is
recognize. All right, I
it
want respect.
educated guessing?
Put some
anymore?
respect on his name.
Or is it just purely luck at that point?
So it becomes an educated guess, all right. But everything is an educated guess when it comes to football, all right. Like in
It's
fantasy
philosophical,
football,
dog.
all right. Like you're not. No one knows what's exactly going to happen, all right. You look at the statistics, you look at the information that you're given in that situation, and you make an educated decision based on the information, all right. Like so, it's like somebody goes out, like basically like exactly like this, all right. I'm gonna go deep into fantasy football, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but like he's the rookie running back for the Chiefs this year.
Right.
All right.
Now
I have a bad taste in my mouth because of what happened with the running backs from the Chiefs last year. He was getting drafted in like the first
Damian
round.
Williams.
He was getting drafted in like the first round because everyone was sitting there going like, "Hey, he's the Chiefs running back. They're going to be the best team. They're going to be the best offense in the league. They're going to score a shitload of points. All right, the Chiefs running back. Everyone get the Chiefs running back." Andy Reid was the coach, and Andy Reid just like historically only used one running back. He doesn't do platoon systems. All right. Last year he decided to do a platoon system. All right?
See what I mean?
All right, like so it's just kind of, but that was one of those things that like just randomly, if you looked at it, I was never gonna draft him. All right, like because if you look at that, you basically look at that situation and go, this guy had 5 games and he's being drafted in the first round. All right, like. And he was being drafted there pretty much just because of like public opinion, where there wasn't like a better option.
Wait, who was being drafted? Damian Williams?
It was
Or
Williams, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Damon
Williams.
Williams. All right, and he opted out this year, which is basically why
That's what I'm saying.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the exact same situation this year. Whereas like they drafted him in like the second round, Damian Williams opts out. All right, and all of a sudden Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the new like dime piece of the
Yeah.
first round. All right, because
Now
he's
the
the
starting
supposedly the starter for the Chiefs. All right,
Right.
but like, do you really think that a rookie running back walking into a season with no preseason, all right, no time for anyone to look at you, all right, other than practice reps, you're not gonna get to play against anybody. You don't get to show off in the preseason and be
Well,
like,
that
I'm
O-line,
better
though,
than these kids,
Preseason.
all right.
He's
And
got
be like,
ice in his veins. He's got
right?
that
Like,
whole
do you
line.
really think that, like, and not to mention the fact that you don't even get those, like, mental reps that you're going into a game. Like, like, you don't get to learn the playbook from a game scenario. Like, do you really think a rookie is going to be able to walk into that situation,
Yeah.
right? And just be the number one, understand everything that has to do with the NFL at that level. All right, know when he has to block, know when he has to basically like hit a hole and go out for a pass, like who he needs to be tracking.
Yeah,
right, like in the backfield.
No preseason's huge.
He's also a little undersized.
Like, do you really like it's not? It would be a lot for a rookie running back to come in and be able to handle all of that.
Let me
but
ask
he's
you
being
this.
drafted, like he can, like he's
It's
just
gonna
gonna
be
do
like,
that.
blocking,
Alright,
blocking schemes, all of the formations, like when to jump out on the screen or some shit.
Like,
Let me ask you this
that is
though:
a lot.
how affected do you think training camp has been with COVID? Like, do you think the same precautions they're gonna take like during the season have been taken
I
during
think.
training camp?
Hold on.
And do you think that stopped up?
I think it's more of a mental thing because if you watch like the Hard Knocks, they're actually only showing up to the training facility only for practice and workouts, and then they go home and then they do meetings at home.
Oh, so you think
So-
like
so-
the chemistry?
I've
isn't
been,
gonna be
and
there?
I've also
think
been
chemistry-
somewhat amazed at the lack of
And learning playbooks,
like
too.
Yeah.
reports coming out from a.
Training camp, yeah.
Like,
think
Is
about
it
the
limited?
accountability.
They limited how many people are allowed to,
Yeah,
to
Like if
watch.
you have your team in your face like every day, like there's a different sense of accountability than like if they're over a fucking video chat and it's like, hey, did you read the playbook tonight?
I
Like, did you
disagree with
study?
you. Just go play a video game. People say some mean things. Over
Oh,
the-
yeah.
Okay, but those are people that like are built on playing video games. These guys have been built on the team atmosphere, being like around each other and building those bonds. Like,
Dude, imagine. All right, imagine the players
I think
that are
in
at
that
home.
preseason's
Hold on.
big, but
Imagine the players that are at home on the webcam and they're just like having a drink, or they're just like smoking a bong rip, and they're just like chilling out, and they don't even know that's happening in the background. Like that's probably what's happening to like students in college on the virtual shit. Like they're not even paying attention.
but
really.
like we like
Some people will.
some of us did that. Some of us did that. Well, but we still got an A in the class. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the sense
Yeah,
that.
but now they don't have a test. They have a
Right,
game.
But that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
But like I get it. But like at the
They
same
have the
time, like
game.
if you're learning the information that you need to learn and you're just in your downtime at that point, I don't want him taking a bong hit or getting ripped before a game. All right, like or before practice or anything.
You're
All right,
Josh
but
Gordon.
like if he's sitting at home going over game film, all right, like
the thing is,
necessarily I don't want him taking a bong hit then either.
Yeah,
dude.
because
All
they're
right,
trying
but,
to
like,
learn.
Look,
they're
like I
trying to
don't
learn.
disagree with that, but you're also just kind of like making, you're giving.
I think
I don't think you're giving them enough credit. That is their job.
No. I think that there will be super dedicated people already because most of them are super super self motivated. They got to the NFL like they have a
they're not-
superior work ethic, but like you're talking about just chances of greatness. Like so you're like just every amount of accountability that's not there. I feel like is reducing your chances of everyone like hitting that flow state at the same time when you're talking about like 11 people.
That's
on
what
the field.
preseason is really for. Because
So-
preseason, you're trying to test out those plays in the playbook, especially the coach too. You got to look at it from the coach perspective too, because they're trying to test out these scenarios like the 2-minute rundown. Like they only have 2 minutes left in the half,
drill.
or the 2-minute drill.
I
Where they
think-
have a certain amount of plays.
I
where
think
they're
the
like,
preseason
all right,
is-
let's see if this works, or let's see if
But
this
that's
player is
what
good.
training camp is all about.
I think it's completely different depending on
Training
what stage
camp
of your
is
career.
all
but-
about getting the team together on the same pace, learning the same things everybody doing.
But
Now
the
they can't
coach-
do that.
The coach too is also
Right.
trying.
The
new
coach is
things.
learning
Yeah,
what he has, what he
exactly.
can do, what he can't
Yeah.
do, all that.
Yeah.
But all that's taken out of the picture. So now, does that put
New
experienced coaches
Yeah, is that
at an
put
advantage?
new coaches at a disadvantage?
Does it?
I think
I mean-
I think it does just because it's much harder to.
But those same coaches have also already coached somewhere else before, so they're not technically new, but they're new to the NFL.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who's he was the Minnesota coordinator last year. He's coaching. He's coaching Baker now, right?
Yeah, I
and
think
the
so.
Browns.
Yeah.
The Minnesota.
Wait, what's his name?
Minnesota offensive coordinator now
Minnesota
is
offensive
coaching the
coordinator
Browns.
is coaching the Browns. I can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking about.
But he did pretty damn.
Fraser.
So like, I got mad at them because they would just send Odell and Jarvis Landry 20 yards downfield, and then Baker Mayfield would be scrambling in the backfield, running away from people after 1 second. All right.
Just toss it up to Odell. That's what you gotta do.
It doesn't work if there's 6'3", 6'5" people going like this. Alright, like and like knocking you on the ground. He's not big. He's not like he can throw, but like,
Baker Mayfield isn't that fast. He's not that fast.
But he was really good when it came to like pretty much. It made me laugh. Like they literally went and got somebody who like did exactly the opposite of that. Where like he last year with Kirk Cousins was like had the quickest. It was like 2.5 like time from like
Oh
snap
hell yeah!
to like the the ball to the release. All right, like it was like
Hell
2.5 seconds or so, and I was like, oh, they literally were like, all right, Baker, you're getting the ball out of your hand.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm interested to see how that goes. All right,
I mean, so like imagine that scenario where they have like a new thing that they want to try out, and they can't.
They
even
should
do
be
it preseason
completely.
launch up.
It's empty.
It's empty.
They should
They
be
can't do it
completely
preseason.
revamping that offense, I guess is the point. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
I
like
don't
new
know how.
coordinators, new coaches, those teams, first round draft picks, Joe Burrow. Does Joe Burrow even have time to practice and get ready for the first week of
Joe Burrow don't
season?
need no practice.
What do you mean? He's in the Bengals,
You talking about
dude.
practice?
I'm talking about
It's
the
Joe
Bengals,
Burrow.
dude.
Did they?
It's like-
Hey,
Trying to win a game.
did they
Dude.
do anything to the
Playoffs.
offensive line?
The Browns?
The Bengals.
No, not
Did the
that I.
Bengals do anything to
top
the
four.
offensive line?
Not that I read up
Am
on.
I gonna have to look that up? Alright,
Yeah, dude, come with your facts, bro.
Wait, what are you trying to look at?
did the Bengals do anything to the offensive line? Because if they didn't,
I don't
Alright,
think so.
like-
They only had Whitworth on a 1-year deal, I think, so they lost their left tackle.
they need to sign somebody.
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Hey,
Alright,
Yeah, so.
he's
No.
yeah, I don't like I don't know, dude. I didn't watch him much at LSU. I don't know how good he is, but like
Let's just say at LSU he had a great offensive line.
I don't know how good he is, but
It's
he
college,
better
dude.
be ready. He better
I
be
mean-
ready to move. He
I
better
mean,
be
he
ready
had
to
a-
move. He better be ready to dump it to
What?
Nixon.
I don't know if you watched any of his
Right, like,
highlights.
Nixon?
I didn't watch him like that either.
Tricky Mick. Tricky Mick.
Oh, he's gonna be great for Joe Burrow. Dude.
I didn't watch him like that either. But
He
if
might.
you watch any of his
I
highlights,
thought he was good.
he has more than 5 seconds to throw the ball. Let's just say that. In LSU, he's not gonna get that in the NFL. So he needs time,
Dude,
and he's
especially-
gonna go through that progressive year that Baker went through, where he kept getting his ass on the ground.
So, but Baker, that was sophomore year in the sense that, like, when Baker first came out, like, normally it does take the league a little
did
bit
really
to
good.
adjust to you.
He did good.
All right, whereas, like, I don't think anyone thought Baker was just gonna chuck the ball up the way
Right,
he
but
did.
the Browns
Like,
also had multiple draft picks to get some sort of lineman. The Bengals have not had that. Bengals first.
Well, they signed one and they drafted one for like the Browns. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They signed a lineman and they drafted a lineman. Like so, they like made a point that they were like, okay, like
We
we're
gotta
gonna
protect
give him some time to throw the ball this year,
Yeah.
hopefully. All right. But
I mean, honestly, dude, that division, you're not gonna go anywhere in that division.
this is all like at the
There's
same.
the Bengals, and you got the Ravens, and then you got the Steelers, and then you got who else?
They beat the Ravens once last year.
And then you got the Browns. If the Browns ever amount to anything,
They
but
will.
I think the Browns are.
I
Gonna
think
be,
they will.
The Browns
This
are gonna
year.
be better than
They have
the
the
Bengals.
Super
They're
Bowl
gonna win
last
one or
year.
two more games than last year.
Yeah, they won
They're
like
gonna be
6
better
games
than the
last year.
Bengals.
They're gonna win 8 this year.
That's literally Vegas is over under on them. I'm pretty sure it's like 8 games.
Yeah, you say they're gonna win 9 or 7. What's a better possibility for the
7.
Browns?
Actually,
They gotta play Baltimore twice.
Yeah, I would say 7.
But
I'll
they,
say
and
7.
they and they beat Baltimore once last year.
Yeah,
They
they did.
stole a win. All right, I don't know how that happened. That was like
you
44
know what?
to 6.
I'm gonna be
Like,
I'm gonna be the
dumpster
one dude that
dive.
says they win 9.
I don't know.
I said
I
they
don't
win
know the
11.
schedule.
It's recording.
Wow.
We're on camera. We're live. I said it.
I don't know the schedule.
I stick by it. I don't even know the schedule. I'm not even a Browns fan.
I don't know the schedule. I'll
I
pull
mean,
up the schedule.
I
and
hope
go
they
through
do
it, though.
good. I honestly, I want Odell Beckham to do good. I want him to be good with Baker.
All right, so we were just talking about Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
What about all the other rookies? Now, granted this, I saw at least 4 rookies pull out so far. 2 of them happen to be on the Patriots, but
I mean, what other rookies are game changers? Like a quarterback like Joe Burrow. What were the other rookie quarterbacks that were drafted?
Tua.
Tua!
The Dolphins. He was. I think he was held out of practice recently.
He's
actually,
supposedly
from a hip injury.
not looking like he's gonna beat Fitzy out for the job.
doesn't look like it.
Fitzy's good, man.
Dude,
No,
Fitzpatrick-
no one gives Fitzy credit. He's so much fun to
Fitzpatrick is
watch.
really good.
But he throws every
So much
single
fun to
time.
watch. I love
He's
Fitzy.
a journeyman.
I love
Let's be
Fitzy.
real.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like you look at Fitzpatrick as a team, and you already know, like, there's no way your rookie quarterback's gonna start over this guy. You're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and make him learn.
I would
to sit
agree.
down.
Fitzpatrick actually played really well towards the end of the year last year. He
Yeah.
turned Parker. Parker had the best season he had ever had. Wait, am I getting this? I get them
Devontae
mixed up.
Parker, you
yeah,
said it.
Parker. Parker had the best season that he had literally had, and it was just because Fitzy just was firing him the ball over and over again. All right, like they won. Like if you didn't watch Dolphins, the Dolphins were actually really, really, really fun to watch towards the end of the season, and it was pretty much all because of Fitzpatrick. Right, like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think about like teams like the Cardinals too, where they have like DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, where they have like they invest a lot in a wide receiver quarterback duo, and they can't even practice as much on like a game situation.
I don't think D Hop.
But with elite talent like D Hop,
yeah, if D Hop's just gonna beat
throw the ball in his vicinity.
Yeah, he's just gonna beat coverage. So like I don't think he necessarily.
He's played with Brian Hoyer. And,
right, but then you need those players, kind of like you mentioned earlier, Devin Funchess. Even though he's not playing,
dude, how many
player of that caliber who
Tom
want to
Brady?
take that next step, who need to learn the systems.
How many backups?
It's gonna
to Tom
fuck
Brady
up
are in the
them.
league?
What?
How many backups to Tom Brady are in the league?
How many backups to Tom Brady are in the league?
Wasn't Hoyer a backup?
Ryan Hoyer?
Hoyer was a backup to
He's
Tom
still
Brady.
he's still there.
Wasn't
Tyrod Taylor was at one point in the when no, he was
No,
not
he
the
wasn't.
Patriots. No,
he was a backup to Flacco. And,
Joe Flacco.
to Joe, yeah. Never mind.
Wasn't he a backup with Gino at one point?
No.
No,
boy,
who am I
like
thinking
a
of?
game.
Who am I
Geno
thinking
Smith was there in the Patriots a little bit actually.
Who am I thinking of?
Yo, where's Cam Newton now?
Cam
Patriots.
Newton, Patriots.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so we had
That's
Tough. That's tough.
Actually, you got my man in the Colts.
That's gonna be crazy.
What's his name? The quarterback.
Philip
for the Colts.
Rivers.
No, before
He's
him.
the Colts.
Last year, Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, Brissett.
He's
Yeah, where did
former
he go?
former Patriot.
Who?
He's still there. He's still the
He's still
Colts.
in Indy.
Yeah, but they're starting Philip?
They got
Yeah.
some beast running back. Colts did.
Marlon Mack.
You talking about
Yeah, dude. He was like
he's already lost his job.
Wait,
Yeah.
for real?
Almost.
Yeah, pretty
almost.
much.
If you look, like this, we're gonna go back to fantasy real quick. But if you see where people are drafting the rookie that they drafted, people are drafting the rookie ahead of him. All right, where like they think that this rookie's gonna take his job, which I think is
no way.
Wait, I was
Little
talking about the
crazy.
rookie.
What's the rookie's name? You know?
I
actually don't know.
But
It's
he's
like
like a
Williams
beast.
or
He's like a
something.
fucking tank.
Yeah, he's like that's what people think. People basically
And
think
yeah,
he's
you got-
ridiculous.
So Jacoby Brissett, you got
man.
Garoppolo. Because I'm not trying to answer that question you asked earlier. How many backups there are to him?
Garoppolo, Brissett, Hoyer.
Hoyer, and now
Fucking
you have
Brian
Stidham.
Castle got himself a contract, but he's not.
Castle's
he's
gone.
not
That's
around.
why I didn't count him.
So do you guys think there's gonna be a full NFL season?
Jimmy was sitting behind him for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah.
All 16 games.
Two
Do you think
seasons.
there's gonna be all 16 games and
Mhm.
playoffs?
No.
Damn, I don't know.
You
Where
sure
are
he
they
didn't
playing
expire
at,
on the
though? Is
rookie
it
deal,
just
which
like?
would have been 4?
Yeah.
Wait, yo, is it? Are they just playing?
We may have to look that one
Yeah.
up.
Are they just playing at any?
No, they
Stadium?
traded him. Remember,
They did trade him.
there was that whole controversy where they thought that Brady forced it.
Yeah.
All right, where they said that like Brady.
Garoppolo?
Yeah, when they
What
traded
about Jimmy?
when they
We're trying to
traded-
see how many years he
We were
was on
just
the
talking
Patriots.
about Brady's backups.
2 years, 3 years,
3 years or 2?
3.
Yeah, 'cause so he was at like he was at the-
going into the 4th. They were like,
They
no,
traded
we can't keep him.
they traded him. Supposedly Brady forced him to
Belichick
trade him.
wanted them alpha.
Supposedly Brady forced him to trade him.
No
Right.
Kraft forced.
Yes, but supposedly because of the relationship with Brady and Kraft. All right.
Well, so how long do you guys think the NFL is gonna last?
I think that through all this and like basically all we've talked about is like hurdles that they have to jump over. All right, like and
It's
stuff
not looking
like that.
promising.
All right.
No.
I think that
It's the
through,
NFL.
I think through all that, I will not underestimate the NFL's
Neither will
willingness to want to make.
I think the
money.
first thing that goes
Right,
is
like-
fans are not gonna last past
like
week 6.
they're gonna figure out a way to play these games.
Past week 6,
Alright.
fans are gonna go. Fans are not gonna be allowed. They're gonna have more. They're gonna have players infect fans, or fans infect players, and vice versa. Either one, you know. So fans are gonna be the first to go. They're gonna be like, all right.
Like, this
everybody
is-
calm down. Fans are gonna go.
So
we'll
so
just televise it. That's
granted,
it.
if the COVID stuff stays at this rate,
Well, we're supposed to get a second wave, right?
right? That was gonna be my transition. Like if it stays at this rate, they're gonna finish the season. They're gonna figure it out. Like you said, by week 5, week 6, fans are gonna be gone.
Too much
They're gonna
money
figure
on
out.
There's too much money on.
They're
it.
gonna
Too
figure
much
it out.
money.
All right.
But if we get another wave of this corona, and if it, what is the word I'm looking for? Migrates, morphs, or what's that word?
Mutates.
Good word, bro.
Yo,
There you
plus,
go. Word of the day.
yo, plus,
Mutates.
consider the fact that the election's gonna come up in November, and people are going to be using institutions like the NFL and shit like that as a like political tool too.
Commercial advertising.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but just they're going to talk about like they're going to criticize their handling of like whether or not they get more cases or not. And, like the NFL at this point and most pro sports are like inherently political. I feel like you know.
I don't know if it's inherently political.
NFL is.
I would say for sure NFL is definitely. Well, at least the players.
The NFL for a while has tried to align themselves with like the armed forces and things
right.
like that.
But they stay out of the politics.
Yeah,
they do.
But,
and that's the biggest knock on them.
I know they try and stay out of it, but like with all the kneeling and stuff going on, I feel like it's going to inherently be political, especially this election cycle. Like so
But as the NFL, should they not embrace it? They can look at the NBA did. NBA put Black Lives Matter everywhere.
At this point,
because that's what was going on.
At this point, they have, right? Like they basically
that wasn't just the NBA.
All the owners and stuff are like not the owners, but like the coaches and the players and things have basically like all kind of come to the agreement that like if we're kneeling, we're kneeling.
We're kneeling for this purpose.
Like you know,
correct. But I don't know if what's that one owner that was like, I'm still gonna fine you for, or I'm gonna kick you off my team or suspend you. Or
I thought it was Trump that was basically still harping about it.
But there was one owner for the NFL.
No, I know what you're talking about. There was an owner. Yeah.
Which owner?
Fuck, I don't remember.
They were saying, what were they saying?
Like if you
still
kneel,
gonna
you're
fine him.
like
if you kneel, you're off my team.
Yeah, he probably doesn't like mean that. Like
was that really what it said? That seems extreme.
Basically, you're gonna receive punishment.
In cancel culture, I'm surprised he hasn't been yelled at. All right.
Well, he got yelled at.
Okay, good. He
was all over social media.
I was just like, for it to be fair, everyone else gets yelled at.
Yeah. On social media, he got roasted. You know, then he went out and put a public apology out.
Yeah.
That's not what he meant.
Yeah, stay consistent.
Kind of like the whole Drew Brees thing, where he tweeted that one thing: "I'm not gonna kneel for I support my armed forces." And everybody roasted him, Michael Thomas included.
There was an NBA player or some player came out and said that I'm not gonna kneel for the anthem. I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah,
whatever.
and he did. He stood up.
His
name is Jonathan Isaac.
It was for his.
And he's from the Magic.
It's about his.
In Orlando.
It's about his Catholic beliefs, though.
And he stood up, and he was the only one standing. And they asked him why, and he explained why. And he said that I don't agree. So he clearly stated, he's like, I don't agree that me kneeling is doing anything for this movement.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But what I am doing is look at my shirt, look at this, and look. He expressed the way he believes he's affecting the Black Lives Matter.
How many weeks was that after Drew Brees incident?
Many weeks.
So same thing.
Like, to be honest, though,
are they not?
But look at how the NBA went about it, and look at how the NFL went about it. NFL complete roast right away. Fuck you, Drew Brees. NBA, they're like, no, we got you. We got your back. Explain yourself, my dude. Why are you not gonna do it?
I kind of disagree.
What you mean?
Wait, how it started was basically LeBron coming at Breeze on Twitter.
Yeah, what you mean it was the NFL?
That's literally how it
Michael
started.
Thomas went in on him, his own teammate.
Yeah, but it was like basically kind of after.
That's none of the delegates of the people that were actually holding.
So like I will
LeBron was one of the one. He wasn't the first one, but he was one of the few select.
That's the athlete community. That's not the NFL community. That's
right.
The athlete community.
So why didn't that same athlete community fry Jonathan Isaac? They didn't. They supported him.
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, dude, Deshaun Jackson quoted.
It's only because Jonathan Isaac didn't do anything over social media. It was his first game, and he was standing, and they asked him why he was standing right away, and they clarified it. It was the people behind the camera. They were like, "Yo, we need to make sure we get in front of this before some shit happens." The NBA and the camera crews took advantage of it. They pulled him aside while they were warming up, and they asked him why he didn't kneel for, the national anthem.
While warm-ups?
Warm-ups, because that's when
afterwards. To be honest, it's like
so that's when they had warm-ups.
While I don't I kind of I think they did it correct. I think that's good. I think
they went about it perfectly. Now, granted,
they had an answer.
If Drew Brees had done this,
because they knew people were going to be asking the question.
If Drew Brees had done this in a practice or a game, and then they
but for the record though,
he did it over social media.
For the record, first of all, he did it in an interview. He did it in an interview.
Okay.
He didn't do it in social media.
Okay.
He did it in an interview.
He had time to explain himself.
And he basically said the exact same thing that he said for the last 3 years when asked about this. All right.
Military.
Yeah,
all he said was, listen, I don't agree. Like I don't agree with anybody disrespecting the flag or the troops. That was all he said.
Yeah, but he didn't.
But look,
So-
tensions were a little higher at that time.
Yeah,
that
they
was
were.
like
They
the
were.
wound was still
Right.
fresh, you know. Like,
But I will say that like there's somewhat of an unwillingness, kind of like for both sides to like understand each other.
yeah.
Whereas like there isn't necessarily anything wrong with the opinion that kneeling during the national anthem is disrespectful. Like we've all kind of been brought up in the culture that we respect our flag. Like we all stood for the national anthem in school, most of us. Like if you had like the national anthem, like that is somewhat of a like that's an idea that's prevalent in our culture.
Right.
All right, like
that's
so like
national.
so like that in itself, like there's nothing wrong with that idea in itself. Like that, if you are not showing respect to the flag, like there's something wrong with that. Like because it's just it's just a sign. It's just something that's been a part of patriotism for our entire lives, right? But there's also nothing wrong with the thought, like basically kind of both parties' unwillingness to understand each other, and just wanting the other one to accept their side.
Right.
All right.
And that's the whole Drew Brees situation.
Like-
so he didn't understand the full concept of the kneeling, which is why he made the statement he did. And again, if he had all the facts, which then afterwards he did have, he corrected his stance.
But
Which was his
Wait.
stance.
What's new? There's been like 2 years of this for Drew Brees.
He didn't
it's
know.
new in the NBA.
No,
In the NFL, it's not new.
it
though.
wasn't new.
But it was new to
that
Drew Brees.
stance
How do
wasn't
you
new, but that
how do
stance
you
wasn't new,
avoid
is all I'm
that
saying.
as your quarterback? How do you avoid your teammates kneeling in the?
So the biggest aspect of the whole thing was being informed, and that's what even the play Michael Thomas took blame for. He's like, I didn't inform him on everything until now, and now that he knows what we're going through and what we're fighting for and why we're kneeling, now he understands the true concept behind everything, and that we're not going against the flag.
So that's what it took.
Okay,
It took informing.
Hold on.
But real
It
quick,
wasn't just Michael Thomas
Say
who
this
reached
out loud.
out.
Say this
Many
out loud.
people reached out.
Say this out loud. It took him until now. It took him, that teammate, to come out 4 years after Colin Kaepernick did what he did, and after all that,
To be
for him
informed.
to be like, oh, that's why.
Now that goes not against Drew Brees.
Wait.
I'm not gonna put that on Drew Brees. I'm gonna put that on everyone who supports Black Lives Matter.
Just watch SportsCenter one of those days.
Wait.
Correct.
what?
I'm putting that on that other side only because the way you spread your message and the way you get it out there is by informing people. So if you're not even informing your own teammates about what's going on and what you're fighting for, are they really your teammates?
I think.
Are you really that close? Are you even really supporting the movement, or are you just putting a shirt on and putting your fist up for no reason? Because if you're a true activist, you want to get the word out there. You're not going to go out there and preach every day, but when you're doing something, you're going to inform the people, especially Drew Brees, who has the biggest face of the franchise.
I don't think
it's simpler than that.
I don't think
honestly.
Drew Brees is
Informing.
I don't think he's that. I don't think he was that oblivious.
like
up until
so.
that point.
Do you get kind of like what my point though, in the sense that
totally
like
get it.
that belief isn't incorrect. Like like
That's
is-
exactly what I
like,
was.
you know,
that's the
like,
point I was
neither
making.
one of them is an incorrect belief. Like, and I also, so even if you understand that, I guess like, is it still not okay to have the belief that is the incorrect way to go about it because of your belief that this is a disrespectful like thing to do?
But and I can use your point against you.
Okay.
You
You
may
can.
think it's an incorrect.
Exactly,
way,
I may
but
think
I
that.
don't.
I may think that. But like you needed to basically then try to understand my perspective, just like
Correct.
I'm trying to understand yours.
Exactly. There
Right?
needs to be communication.
Like yeah.
There needs to be, okay, what do you mean by this? What do I mean
And
by
I'll be
this?
honest, I don't care.
Alright, so
I don't
if
care
you-
one
And
way
then,
or the other.
and then hypothetically, we could come up with a better solution together
Exactly.
against what they should have done with Drew Brees, but they did.
Take notes, Congress.
All right, so because this happened before, and if Drew Brees really wanted to understand, if he really wanted to, dude, those beliefs that he said in that interview, he believed them. It's not until that moment that people were actually getting out of his way, and they were just like,
And
yo,
again, his views haven't
But
changed
there's
on
nothing
that.
wrong with that belief.
He
It's
hasn't
just an
changed on that.
like like.
But what I'm trying to say is
Right.
like, he was pressured by
Yeah, I agree with you
media
that he was
and
pressured.
everybody, and then this guy comes out 4 weeks later, and it doesn't happen. I'm just trying to understand.
No, but here's Drew Brees. Drew Brees said, kneeling. I don't support kneeling against going. I support the military, and I support the flag, and I support
He basically directly.
Now, again, if you ask him to this day, that opinion has not changed.
Yeah.
He did not know the full story behind why the kneeling was happening.
But the thing is,
So, but like even understanding that.
But because he didn't want
And
to.
then
know.
the communication happened. When he got fried, everybody poured into his
I'm not saying you're
phone,
wrong.
DMs,
Maybe I can say
everything.
that, but like,
they were like, "Yo, listen, this is why we're doing it. We're not hating on anybody. We're not hating on all the military. We support our military. We support all this. We're just going up against systemic racism is what they pretty much said. So we're going up against that, and against systemic racism, we think the best way to get using our platform is to kneel during the national anthem. And when he understood that, he was like, bet. I get why you're doing it. I support that cause, but I still say kneeling because you're not supporting, the military troops is still a bad idea.
Yeah, like you're still
so his opinion never really changed. He just learned something new and supported it as well.
But in theory, you're using basically something that basically is going to catch attention because of that. Like,
correct. That's the theory behind it.
You should understand that, like, there are just people going to see that and just be rubbed the wrong way initially. Right? Like, in the sense, without understanding.
Again,
right?
this is where the NFL messed up completely when Kaepernick started doing this.
Kaepernick also...
Instead of putting him on media blast, Kaepernick...
No disrespect to Kaepernick, but Kaepernick also wasn't exactly the most activist way of doing it.
He could have done a better job.
Yeah, he had like ulterior motives.
He could have done it better. But then they could have easily been like, "Yo, Kaepernick, can you explain? Put him on camera. Can you explain?"
Yeah,
they never did. They just roasted his ass.
They basically just showed him. They just showed him in pregame. They just showed him pregame warming up. They showed with socks.
Yeah. And then the media goes crazy.
Well, he did. They had a chance to, and he explained what he was.
After what, second season?
He said, "I can't support like a."
He got cut, like literally, not cut. He did not get cut. He opted out of his contract.
Yeah, he did.
Right? But like it was the back end of that season, and then he opted out at the end of that, right?
But he
never really got another chance after that. So it was
he
only like 6
out.
or 7 games where it was actually happening. I think.
Right. Which again, Jonathan Isaac first game got immediately camera. Explain yourself.
There was another. Are you guys talking about the same player who wouldn't kneel because of just like he's like a devout Catholic?
No.
Right?
I thought there was a dude that had like family in the military, and that's why he was standing and not kneeling.
Yeah. Different person. I'm talking about the guy who would not stand, who would not kneel because he didn't think kneeling did anything effective for the Black Lives Matter.
Out of curiosity, how did he get received?
Which guy?
Like how was he received from like a Twitter? How did Twitter receive him? They didn't care.
They didn't care because again,
so weird,
again,
right? It's so
the
weird.
media took advantage of it.
It's not that weird. Like,
it's
in
like
a
they
sense,
choose.
like, do you remember what Deshaun? Did you see what Deshaun Jackson did?
Yeah.
Alright,
Right, but the thing is, that's where the media came in handy.
I know.
That's where the media came in handy for
I'd
the
have
NBA.
gotten cut.
Who was that?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Who was that against again?
Huh?
Who was that?
Jewish people. It was an anti-Semitic kind of.
Yep. He didn't even know about the
never mind.
Holocaust.
I got the way.
He didn't know about the Holocaust.
They cut me so quick. It cut me so quick.
He beat a Holocaust survivor?
It was Julian Edelman that came out and said something.
I think
Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman went and talked to him about it. I think Julian Edelman is Jewish.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he went to the Holocaust Museum. He met one or two of the survivors, and he got himself.
I will say though that there are other players that had done that would never have gotten that chance. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Valdez Stanley. See, hypothetically, he did it. He gone. No one would have ever heard of him ever again.
All right, so how did we get on this tangent though?
I have no idea.
Where do we start on? How do we start on?
All right. To get us back on track, I got a question.
Bring me back.
I got a question.
What's up?
COVID's happening.
Falling. I got it.
You good?
I got it.
All right. COVID's happening. College sports are pretty much done for the year. Now what happens to all those college players trying to get into, especially, let's talk about the NFL only. What happens? Now, you were mentioning something earlier about them having another year.
The NCAA gave all the fall athletes another year of eligibility. I know. That would have been last semester, or like the year. That would have been like last.
So not this upcoming fall.
But they have to give these kids. I guess they haven't completely decided. Some football seasons are playing, some aren't.
So,
all right. Whereas like the Big Ten canceled, like the
most college players will play 3 years, right? They
it's
come
4
out.
years of eligibility. It depends on who you are. All right. But yeah.
So yeah.
Like,
So say you're a big name like what's his name, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, Clemson. Trevor Lawrence. He's only played what, 1 year? 2 years.
I have no idea.
Trevor Lawrence.
Wish Chuck Norris was in college right now.
Chuck
coming
Norris!
up as a quarterback.
I
Oh my
Chuck Norris
god.
playing NFL football.
It'd be amazing.
Dude,
Yeah, I'm picking him up on fantasy as a college player.
Seriously.
Like-
Alright, like first round draft pick.
Number 1 pick overall.
Chuck Norris scores points regardless.
Alright, but yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
but
saying
so-
how
so-
does
so
it affect? So how did those?
How does it
college
affect all those
prospects
college
affect-
players? Now think about like, so hypothetically, let's
Think
put
about
Joe Burrows in a situation.
Alright, well, hold on. Before you start everything, when was it postponed to?
Well, no, it was canceled.
What was
Jesus,
It was
canceled.
canceled.
Yeah.
Completely.
A lot of it was
Yeah,
canceled.
canceled.
The Big Ten was canceled.
Big Ten,
I
Pac-12,
thought it was.
done.
I read postponed.
Nah, canceled.
What was it? There was who was the Ohio State quarterback that had like 200,000 signatures though, trying to get it reinstated?
That was going to be my
Yeah.
my point. Like, that's why I was brought up Joe Burrows, because Joe Burrows was behind 2 quarterbacks for 2 years and transferred and got to play 1 year and kicked ass, right? That Ohio State quarterback guy, I'm really forgetting his name, but he's had 1 decent season so far.
That's exactly what Mark
He needs
said.
this next year to really prove himself and become a high draft pick. But now he's not going to get that chance. So what? Does he wait a year extra to play and not get drafted?
Well, I think everybody. I mean,
Because that,
so you're-
cause that also affects their wallets. Because I remember all these high draft picks get.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
slotted.
contract.
It's paid slots.
Yeah, but you have to think that everybody took a pause off, so it's not like everybody like moved ranks in the time being.
Okay, so
everybody took a
hypothetically, say you're
pause.
Trevor Lawrence. Right now, you're projected to be top 3 pick. Are you
Nothing-
gonna
nothing
play again?
changes. Nothing
Why?
changes.
Why would you play again?
Why would
What
you
do you
play
mean?
again?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why would
Why would you play
All right.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
So
yeah.
why would you play again?
You
Right.
declare the draft immediately.
So Trevor Lawrence goes in. He gets drafted first. Now who are they gonna draft? You have nobody that can work. You can't work anybody out. You can't.
They
No,
allowed
You
that-
can't
that
see
has-
any
they
of their
allowed-
tape.
They allowed
That's gonna have
workouts
to
recently.
change.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
they
gonna
allowed-
have to
They allowed
change.
basically teams to bring in on-field, like out of people to work them out at team
All right.
facilities.
So college players will only have 1 season under their belt.
I definitely think it throws a wrench in the
You know what they're
plan.
gonna do? You know what they're gonna
Right.
do right now? From this point on, they're gonna be training for the combine. Up until the combine, they're gonna
yeah,
be.
They can't
training
have the
for-
combine right now.
Why not?
You can't,
Because of
Who
what's
said who?
going on.
you can't put 400 people and tell them. Never mind. All right.
You make a bubble. Dude,
You,
for the
you could-
combine,
you could figure out
they're
a way
there
to
in
do
the
it. You
combine
can
for
figure
a
out a
week.
way to do it.
They're
It
there in
wouldn't
the
be
combine for a
Right,
week. They
You-
have
you
interviews for a
can.
week. Why not?
You
Make
can.
it 2 weeks.
But is it gonna happen?
I think.
I don't think so.
Dude,
I
it's
think
the
assuming
NFL.
that the kids get that
Yeah, they have a lot of resources
It's
at
the
hand.
NFL.
You know?
They pick one stadium and then they pick the hotel of the stadium right next to it. They pick the,
They're
Yeah,
gonna
the
need
combine's
multiple
not that hard.
hotels.
like,
They're gonna need to do it like Vegas. Like that was one of the options. They're gonna need to pick all these hotel strips, cut them all off, make a bubble like kind of Orlando, or take Orlando.
yeah.
Take Orlando. Do it. The NBA is gonna be
Do
gone
it.
here shortly.
do it. Do it. Yo, but like assuming
I mean-
they like I lost my point. Keep going.
Assuming the what?
All right, so let me flip it on you guys. We looked at it from the perspective of the NFL or of the players. Say you're a franchise.
Man, I don't give a fuck about those players, and I need them to play football so I can make my bottom dollar.
Yeah, but I need them to play football
Okay,
safely so
okay.
that I can still.
How can
actually,
you? How do you evaluate a player? You see their X amount of years of college, and for high school if you want to include it, and you see their progression. You see what they're good at, what they're bad at.
You know what you
okay,
said?
this fits in our system or not.
I
But
think you just get the hyper athletes. at that
Now-
point.
they've only had 1 year.
That's what they've been doing for a while, actually.
Well, yeah.
They've only had 1 year of college. Can you assess a college player just off 1 year?
Maybe they start a whole
In a way.
program where they build these
In a
players
way.
up from college.
Maybe the elites only.
Right.
Maybe the elites only.
I think that
Say you needed a cornerback.
so
There's
this,
no only
this
cornerbacks.
problem is an organizational problem that everyone has to deal with. Like, you know
That's
what I
why
mean?
I'm asking you.
Alright, so
it's
like,
not selective.
I'm less worried about it because it is like in the sense that like kind of like I watch a bunch of people play video games and stuff, and like everyone's playing online now. Like that is a different environment. All right, like and basically things are going to change, and people are going to play differently and react differently because of the different environment. Like some people are just more comfortable in their house than they are on stage in front of a bunch of people. Like that's just how
Yeah.
it works. All right, like
playing in empty
they're gonna
stadiums.
play better, like because they're more comfortable, like things like that. So like, there's always like an aspect of
It's like there's a new layer to being a well-run team. Like, just keeping protocol and like.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about how they're gonna actually
Like, it's
test all these people and scout these people, and I'm thinking
Right.
like because
That's
like,
that's my question.
think about all these college people too. They're gonna be going like actual college.
It
They're
just
gonna be
gets
taking
put on
classes,
hold.
virtual classes. So, could you take them away from that and be like, "Yo, stay in this hotel room for 2 weeks"?
Yeah, they can take a laptop.
Like as long as the playing
Or-
field is the same for everybody, like everyone's playing under the same rules. Like do you know what I mean?
So then, how do you even?
So like it's not really that big of a deal.
Think
because
about
it's
it.
not like one team is gonna have an advantage.
Think
in
about
this
it. The
situation.
draft is in
like,
April. The
Right,
draft is in April.
I'm not even saying a team.
The
has
people
it.
that can evaluate
one
talent
team has it over the
are
other.
gonna be able to.
I'm just
evaluate
saying,
talent.
as a team in general, how do you evaluate talent who has not had the opportunity to play?
So, but like your job is evaluating and projecting talent.
Right.
Your job is
That is your job.
looking at talent and going, where will that talent be 3 years from now?
You could talk
Alright,
to the
like,
college prospects
so-
and see how they scouted their prospects and how they were about to bring them in.
So that's one of the things I kind of read up
So like
on.
high
And I was-
school videos.
And I was listening to it. They were like, look, I was listening to actually an NFL scout. He's like, my job is to go out to these college games. He's like, I go out to at least 60 games a year or whatever, and I look at all these players, look at all this. I can't even go to games, even if they have it, and they're not even having games. So now I can't even tell the team I work for that
This guy's
yes,
good, this guy's bad.
this guy's good or this guy's bad. Again, having a year off can do so much bad to you. It can do good to you, but it can do so much bad to you. So, like, how do you evaluate them just off one workout or 2 workouts? You can't. And now you're giving up this prime draft picks that you have to pick in the first round, second round.
I think
You
that's
know,
good, honestly. Like
on these players who you cannot truly evaluate.
okay, but that's a good thing in my mind because what I
For
see
the
in the
players.
what I see in the NFL is like either a really good draft pick gets stuck on a shit team for years and all of their potential is squandered, or like all of the stacked teams are grabbing up all of the best players anyway. So if you don't know, there's more of a random chance that like great players get put onto teams that are a little more balanced.
But I think there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just like actually getting random picks. Like I think there's gonna be teams like the Patriots that are gonna be like, yo, let's push the envelope a little bit.
Let's scout high school.
Pat Mahomes got drafted 10th.
Let's go send scouts to high school, or let's go talk to people who are scouting
That's true.
prospects for college, or let's do something extra that will set us apart.
But this is not an exact science, and it never has been. Right?
But it's about what team is willing to do more to get more information and more. And
Sometimes more information is paralyzing, like in the sense that like
I would
sometimes
say so for the Patriots.
I was gonna say Belichick has a certain type of player he looks for.
Yeah.
He has a type. So for Belichick, it's easy. Don't get me wrong. It's easier for him.
type.
Yeah.
He has a type. If you're gonna sit there
I see him. He gets all blushing
and not do
when he
your
sees
job?
it.
The cheater players.
you're gonna sit there and not do your job and snitch on us cheating, you're not gonna play for us.
Snitch on him.
You're not gonna play for him.
Goddamn bitch.
I mean, if you're gonna bitch about not doing your job, alright, fuck. I don't want you on my
Yeah,
team.
do you
I'm
wanna win or
still
do you wanna
salty
lose?
about that 0.5 psi.
I will say, like, there's going to be less incentive for teams to actually lose towards the end of the season and actually fight for that number 1 draft spot.
No, it's gonna be even more. Because
Why?
think about it. I only mentioned one name, which was Trevor Lawrence. We know he's gonna be number 1 or 2 draft pick.
Who was the number? Dude, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's number 1.
Definite one.
Right, definitely. So that's why I said Trevor Lawrence is definitely gonna be number 1 draft pick.
Okay, all
Alright.
right. Well, then after that.
So imagine this: they're gonna have the 1, 2, and 3 definites. After that, it's gone.
When was the last time the number 1 draft pick was actually like the best pick in the draft?
The best pick in the draft?
Like talent.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Yep, that's probably it.
Andy.
Dude, Andrew Luck was such a fucking
I know.
savage.
But that's probably it. Like, let's be honest. When was the last? Like, can you think of another number 1 pick who was probably the best player in that draft? So like, this isn't.
I mean, I gotta also kind of go over to the recent. Miles Garrett wasn't.
Matt Stafford, boy.
Miles Garrett was a
What are you
draft
talking
pick,
about,
right?
bud?
I think he was.
Miles Garrett was pretty good.
But I mean, Mitch Trubisky was a number 1 draft pick. What?
Was he?
Wait, was
I thought
Calvin
he got picked
Johnson?
fourth.
Was Calvin Johnson the number 1 draft?
Who am I thinking of? Who did they trade up?
Jared Goff. Let's see
Jared
here.
Goff was the number 1 draft pick. Like,
Kyler Murray.
Kyler
Murray's
Murray's
been banging.
decent. Yeah.
Baker
Kyler Murray's
Mayfield.
good. Let's see how he does last year. Baker Mayfield was not a number
Not
1
good.
draft pick.
Yeah, he.
No, he was not.
No.
Yeah, he was number 1.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was, dude. We all thought.
Really?
We all thought the Browns were gonna pick fucking like Deshaun Watson or who else was in that draft class. They all thought that they were gonna pick Mitch Trubisky. They all thought it was gonna be Mitch Trubisky. Like
Yeah, it was Baker.
it was Baker. And then like
So we got Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Myles Garrett, Jared Goff. My man's Jameis Winston.
That's who I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, okay. There's the guy I was thinking of, Jadeveon Clowney. He was really good.
Still though, he's
Cam
not the
Newton.
best. He's sure as hell not the best edge rusher in the league. He's never had more than 10 sacks in a season.
Cam Newton.
You said best player in his draft class. You didn't say best player in the league.
True. All right, I did. All right, okay, fine. I still don't know if he's the best player. In his
Okay,
draft
okay.
class.
Eric Fisher, who was before him?
No, it's
Then there was Andy Luck, and then before that Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
And then Sam Bradford, Matt
Cam Newton
Stafford.
was nasty for
Stafford.
years. Cam Newton was probably the best player in the league for about 3 years.
Yeah. Up until his MVP season, and then he fell.
I think he was only good as MVP season.
It was like,
Yeah,
dude,
he's
there was
Cam
2
Newton.
years. There was like a 2-3 year season where he was clearly like just stronger than most linebackers.
Yeah, he broke rookie records,
Alright, like-
and then his second year he threw and he ran
right.
more than
Like,
any
he was
quarterback in the NFL.
Like he was the best weapon in the NFL. He was Michael Vick, but he wasn't
2.0.
as fast, and he could run through
Michael
you
Vick.
for
And,
2
and,
years.
and I think he's
Right?
the
And
reason
then it
why
all went
RG3
away.
got drafted.
Alright,
Dude,
and then
pre-lockup, Michael Vick was like some of the most fun football to ever watch.
you ever played? Was it 2004 Madden?
Yeah.
All right.
You just go on.
He's
Michael
a fucking
Vick.
cheat code, bro.
Michael
Alright? He's faster than everyone on the field.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to actually like even draft people or even know who's gonna play for you as a rookie draft class, dude. I feel like next year training camp is gonna be super interesting. I feel like they're gonna have bigger rosters coming in because right now they have I think 110 in like the first week or 90 that they're allowed to have. I think next year it could be like 150 players that they have that they're allowed to bring in.
Do you think that we'll still be dealing with COVID by then?
Correct.
Yeah,
It's just an opinion.
probably.
Yes, sir.
Probably.
I mean, this.
I don't think we're ever not going to be dealing with it for the next year.
I'm on your side.
Next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
For
What
at
do you
least,
consider dealing with it?
Just like on and off lockdowns, on and off, like just the.
Would you
the
consider
phases.
this a lockdown?
Yeah.
No. We're in like phase 3 or something.
We're in
That's kind of what I meant.
I think
So,
we're
like,
still in phase
so like,
2.
is people
man.
basically like?
Lockdown's phase 1.
Are people like I guess if people for the next 6 months are just pretty much like being cautious and like safely protecting themselves, but
That's still
there
dealing
is
with
no,
There's probably gonna be
but there is
next
no
year.
like I guess
So-
flare up or anything. Is that 6 months of dealing with COVID?
I mean, dude, like it's not like things are back to normal. Like
I'm not saying
in
they
my
are.
job, like I have to be wearing a mask at all times. We have these big glass shields.
I'm not saying they
like,
are, but I also was in South Carolina recently, and it is incredible.
That's probably a very lax
It is
state.
incredible the difference in like we live in DC, like we get very national media. Just like when you turn on the news, most of our news is very national. Like they talk about COVID like literally every second of every day. It seems like.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
When I was in North Carolina and they turned on like the local news for like North Carolina, like I swear, dude, I didn't hear it all week. I was there. All right. Like so like it's
Some
just
states that are like that.
yeah, like it's just kind of like it is. I think there's a difference in like.
I'm just saying, like it's like because it's still affecting parts of our economy, and like there's still small businesses. Like New Jersey is like a fucking hellscape. Like you can't go anywhere. Like you can't have a gym open or anything like that. Like there's places that are that bad, and then there's places like Virginia where it's kind of moderate, and like
Northern Virginia.
yeah, Northern Virginia. And I think this is still dealing with COVID. Like phase 3, if it's lighter than this, I would be like, okay, we're not really dealing with it. We're just being like safe about illness. But like this, like
Well, that's
there's still a lot of inconvenient shit going on.
Yeah.
Beijing lifted their mask order the other day, like a week ago or so.
Yeah, I think masks are here to stay for a
NFL
while.
to Beijing, alright.
Going to Beijing, boys.
I think that's a wrap.
Alright, on the way.
Alright, that's a wrap, guys. Episode 3.
See you in Beijing.
Unless we got some final
Yeah,
things here.
Yo, follow us on Instagram.
Follow the
us on
stream.
Instagram.
Follow us on Twitch.
We got
follow us
Mo
on
right
Insta-
here. Mo.
Classic Mo24.
Yep.
You already know.
I don't have an Instagram.
Chetty Bang Bang over
Underscore Brady Red.
I'm
Already
pretty sure these
DD.
are his people.
Watch me
watching.
freak out while I play Half-Life Alyx. That's about all I got for you.
Alright, guys. I think next week we're gonna have tackle a topic of NBA, some NBA
Oh,
Straight like
yeah,
that.
playoffs, baby.
playoffs. Maybe talk
Shout out
about
to Kawhi. What it do, baby?
talk about China conspiracies with NBA and how they wanted to bring that back.
Oh man, that's gonna be a good one.
And
Alright.
there's also a conspiracy theory about Chinese league trying to join.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
Chinese league trying to join the NBA.
Matt. If you want to talk about that too, we can.
I don't know anything
By the
about
way,
it.
this
I
is
love
Matt
talking
Shetty.
about
We
things
can
I
have
don't
Matt
know.
Shetty back in here.
Hey,
Guest
buddy.
appearance.
Jetty,
boy.
everybody.
Everybody, it's me. I got this special chair.
Look, it says legend.
That's Sammy.
Legend.
Sammy, I love you. You're my dog.
I think he's still here too.
All right, y'all.
All right, guys.
Make Sense Podcast.
All right, yo.
Follow us, like us, all that shit.
Follow us on
Do it.
And if you liked what you liked,
Twitch.
Oh, there's
Like
more.
us. We'll be here. You know.
I've always wanted to say like.
Hey,
follow,
that last viewer that
subscribe.
just jumped in. We're gonna be back next week with the NBA topic. You know,
Yeah.
follow us, get that notification that'll show that we're coming on, and
It's
join
gonna
us
be a
next week.
YouTube soon. We'll be posting all of the
Yeah,
streams.
YouTube
we've had
soon.
3 episodes so far. There'll be more to come.
we're also gonna have
Episode
live
3 right
podcasts.